So, we thought yesterday's teaching was tough. Well, today's is, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And, well, here it's a really tough one, isn't it? We all respect peacemakers. I can remember Nelson Mandela, as I was growing up, came out of prison, and rather than fighting all the white people in South Africa, who had really been awful, terrible to the black people in South Africa, he made peace and forgave them and started the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He was a great example of what it means to be a peacemaker. And of course, peacemakers in this Bible teaching from Jesus, peacemakers are called the children of God because they do the kind of things that God did. They do things like their dad did. And Jesus' teaching is really tricky, isn't it? He says, if someone strikes you on one cheek, turn the other cheek and let them have that too. He says that, heard that it was say not to murder people. He says, don't even call somebody else a fool. That's tricky, isn't it? Especially when there seem to be quite a lot of fools out there, everybody apart from me, really. He then says to the church, the teaching to the church is to submit to one another out of reverence for Christ because of who he is and what he says. I think it's a really tough one to follow. It's a really practical one, to be peacemakers, to be the people, rather than making conflict, to be one of those who are solving conflict. When I was young in ministry, I read this book called Never Call Them Jerks. It's an American book, obviously. And it was saying basically to treat people with respect, even when you disagreed with them, to carry on talking, to carry on communicating, never to treat people with disrespect. Sometimes it's really difficult to, when you have a disagreement, to be the person to swallow your pride, to make that phone call when you're not been talking for a while, to accept the pain that the other person has caused you. It can be difficult and can take several goes, sometimes I've found. Or to be the person that brings others together, that listens without judging and tries to find a path through. So how can we be peacemakers today? Maybe you need to make a call, forgive someone, be that peacemaker in your family, amongst friends, maybe even in church. Believe it or not, peacemaking's needed there too, and maybe you be called a child of God today.